Volcanoes are mesmerizing. Just look at those lava fountains. You can sit and watch them for hours without even realizing how much time has passed. So, why are volcanoes important? Well, without them, we wouldn't have our atmosphere. That's one of the most important things they do. Ever wonder what's inside a volcano? Our Earth is filled with liquid rock. Think of it as a gigantic furnace. Now, let's talk about what's happening on the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland. We might be seeing decades of volcanic activity here, and we're just at the beginning of it. This process has been going on for millions of years. In Iceland, we have something special. It's the only place on Earth where a plate boundary comes up from the sea. Iceland is perfect for studying volcanoes in great detail. The volcanic activity here happens in pulses. About 800 years ago, there were lots of eruptions along Reykjanes. And in 2021, we had our first eruption since medieval times. In 2020, scientists noticed magma moving underneath a mountain called Orbjörn. That might have been the start of this new volcanic activity. The flow rates of magma we're measuring now are much higher than before, over 7,000 cubic meters per second. That's extremely high. These are ultra-rapid magma flow rates, and it's an exciting time to be a volcanologist in Iceland. On November 10th, something interesting happened. A seismic swarm started in the area. This indicated a different type of volcanic activity. Initial estimates showed very high magma inflow rates to the dike. We had never seen anything like this before. Volcanoes are truly amazing and important. They shape our planet and help us understand Earth better. Who knows what we'll discover next? Sometimes, nature can challenge us in unexpected ways. In Grindavik, people had to face a volcanic threat, and safety became the top priority. When it was clear that a dike had formed beneath Grindavik, civil protection officials quickly decided to evacuate the town. Safety always comes first, whether for the people living there or the visitors. After the evacuation, the earthquake activity slowed down a bit. But there are still visible cracks in the town, some are even 1 to 3 meters deep. Today, the decision was made to let the people of Grindavik return briefly to their homes to collect their personal belongings. I was at sea when the events happened. I came home on Monday night and had no idea what was going on. I need to go back to get important papers, like our marriage certificate. What's most important right now? Surviving? I don't even know what will happen in the next 2 weeks. Not many people want to stay here anymore. There are about 3,800 people in Grindavik. Many are concerned about where they will go next. One resident described the shaking like being in a giant shaker. When the shaking started, it felt crazy. I was in the kitchen getting ready to make pizza when the whole house jumped up. Now, everyone is uncertain. Will there be another eruption? Or will things calm down? Nobody really knows. I'm on the fence right now about staying in Grindavik. The people here are strong when facing nature, but everyone is still in shock. Volcanoes remind us of the power of nature and the importance of community safety. Together, the people of Grindavik will face whatever comes next. Imagine living in your dream house, only to find out that a volcano is about to erupt. This is the story of some residents of Grindavik. Just before the evacuation happened, many people were getting ready to leave. For some, it was just a few minutes before they had to go. It was our dream house. I never thought it would turn out like this. Some residents had thought about the volcano. They imagined watching it from their bedroom window, hoping it would be far away. But things didn't go as planned. I thought if the volcano started, we could just go somewhere else and come back later. But that isn't happening now. Scientists noticed some changes happening underground. Using GPS, they saw that the ground was moving up. On the evening of November 10th, the ground suddenly dropped by about 40 centimeters, but the inflation of the ground continued. Today, scientists are using drones with special technology called LiDAR to scan the ground. This helps them understand how the ground is moving. LiDAR measures the position of the ground, and by comparing different days, scientists can see changes over time. The situation is complicated because the ground is always moving. It makes it tough to know exactly what's happening. The North American and Eurasian plates are moving alongside each other, creating space for magma to come up. Before people can return to their homes, scientists need to know where the cracks and faults are in the ground. The images show fractures in the ground, helping scientists see what is happening beneath the surface. Understanding the ground beneath our feet is crucial for the safety of Grindavik's residents. Together, they will face whatever challenges come next. We're diving into the exciting world of volcanoes. How do scientists study them, and what can we learn from eruptions? In Iceland, scientists use special tools to measure changes in the ground. They can check how deep the ground moves. While 5 meters is a small change, they can measure up to 100 meters, but that wouldn't give them a clear picture of what's happening below. The team at the Icelandic Met Office studies how the ground is changing. They use data from satellites and a technique called interferometry. An interferogram shows the differences in satellite images taken at different times. This helps scientists see how the ground moves during volcanic activity. This image shows a lot of ground deformation. Scientists saw that the ground moved significantly due to a dike intrusion on November 10th. Right now, there's an 80% chance of an eruption happening soon, but it's hard to say exactly when or where. To predict eruptions better, scientists need to understand how magma rises to the surface and spreads out. Did you know that volcanoes play a huge role in creating our atmosphere? Without them, we wouldn't have the air we breathe. No volcanoes mean no atmosphere, and without an atmosphere, there can be no life. One of the main interests in studying volcanoes is understanding the chemical makeup of magma and the crystals inside it. These crystals tell a story about what happened before an eruption. Think of it like looking into the DNA of an eruption. Each crystal can reveal secrets about the magma's journey and how it behaved. By studying these crystals, scientists can figure out if the magma was happy or struggling in its environment. They can trace back to understand what caused the eruption and what might happen in the future. There are two big questions scientists are trying to answer: how can we predict eruptions better, and what is really inside volcanoes? One exciting project in Iceland is called the Krafla Magma Testbed. Here, scientists want to drill into magma to study how solid rock turns into molten magma. Iceland has been using geothermal energy for many years. By getting closer to magma, scientists can increase energy output from wells by 10 times. In 2009, they accidentally drilled into magma while trying to reach 4 kilometers deep. Instead, they found glassy magma and created the most powerful geothermal well ever. What's fascinating about volcanoes is that they can stay quiet for decades or even centuries. Then, suddenly, they erupt, and everything changes in just moments. By studying volcanoes, scientists learn more about our Earth and help keep people safe. Did you know that the difference between a big eruption and a small one can be just milliseconds? That's how quickly things can change. One of the most impactful eruptions in history was the Loki eruption in 1783 right here in Iceland. It caused global cooling, affecting weather patterns in the northern hemisphere. Let's talk about Katla, a giant volcano hiding beneath the Myrtlsjökull ice cap. It hasn't erupted since 1918, and it's considered overdue for an eruption. When Katla erupts, it can melt the ice above it, causing massive floods with icebergs, rocks, and sediments, making it dangerous for nearby communities. Take a look at the glacier layers. Each layer tells a story. Blue layers mean high-density ice, white layers contain air bubbles, and black layers are filled with volcanic ash. During past warm periods, like the last deglaciation, volcanic activity increased a lot in Iceland. Scientists think this might happen again as glaciers continue to melt. Right now, there's a lava eruption happening in Grindavik. The lava has overflowed defense walls built to protect the town, and it's spreading closer to houses. Volcanoes are powerful forces of nature that can change our world in an instant. Understanding them helps us stay safe and prepared for what's to come. Right now, lava is flowing quickly towards Grindavik. There are reports that parts of the town may soon be covered in lava. I believe half of the town could go under lava by midnight tonight. I hope I'm wrong, but things don't look good for us. The uncertainty is hard for everyone. People are worried about their homes, their future, and how they will recover from this. During community meetings, locals have asked if the government will help them. They wonder if they might get buyouts for their homes, with the chance to return once it's safe. Scientists are observing a lot of magma moving underground. This could lead to more eruptions and damage to Grindavik. Since November, 2 major magma flows have already passed beneath the town. More flows could happen, which would bring even more danger. The volcanic activity in this area follows a pattern. It erupts frequently for a few hundred years, then goes quiet for up to 1,000 years. We've entered a new period of eruption since 2021. What we're seeing now in Grindavik is part of this new volcanic activity. Volcanoes are powerful and unpredictable, and the people of Grindavik face a tough road ahead. We'll keep watching and updating you on this situation. Thanks for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe for more updates on nature and science.